assuming there's questions, so
Questions for Ms.
I'll
Arnold?
defer for the questions.
Mr. Archimedes.
First and foremost, as the law director, who do you represent?
The city,
And does the city include all of us?
absolutely.
So what authority were you acting on to prevent the mayor from answering my question at the last meeting?
The question was because I couldn't remember which one, who signed what, because there were so many things signed. I told him not to sign because I didn't want him to answer incorrectly. Because he looked at me and said, did I sign it or not? I don't know. And so that's why I told him not to answer, because I didn't want him without the document in front of him. I can't advise him to be untruthful.
So why couldn't you have said, if you don't remember, don't answer, rather than whisper to him and have him say, I've been instructed by legal counsel not to answer your question?
My answer stands that I've just given you.
Did you review any of the cases that I sent you on the 5th?
I did.
Did you review the Peterman v. Tepe case?
I don't remember which one was which, but I can tell you I don't feel that any of them apply to this situation because, first of all, a few of them involved charter government, and as you know, we're not a charter, so our charter doesn't, we don't have a charter to limit us. But in the other situations, the councils had not appropriated money for the legal services fund, and in this case, since money had been appropriated for the legal services fund, as the director has indicated, he can enter into contracts in the, I think what you're challenging is the Baker Dublicar. The estimate that I got was going to be that it was around $5,000 probably to do this work. I've forgotten what I've said. Oh, but under his provisions under safety and service, if it doesn't go over $50,000, that's why we felt that he had the ability to do so.
Well, the Peterman v. Tepe case, whether it's a charter government or not, is interpreting statutory law, which is what binds us regardless. And it specifically addresses whether or not the service director could set the compensation of the law firm. Maybe he can hire them, but he cannot also set the compensation. And it very specifically states that that resides with city council.
I don't recall that portion of it, but I still disagree with you. So I'm not sure what you want to do here. You've asked for my legal opinion, and I've given it. If you don't want to agree with my legal opinion, that's fine, but this is really not subject to debate. I mean, this is not my position which you're going to sit here and attack. I've given you my opinion. I read your cases. I looked at everything you sent me, and I also found some other cases on my own that I'll be happy to send you citations for, but I really don't think this is the forum for, an oral argument.
Well, that might be, but I sent emails over the last 12 days and still have not gotten answers, and you specifically said in your last email that anything that had not been addressed would be addressed in this meeting. So now I'm taking the opportunity to get my questions answered.
And I believe I've just done
And
so.
I will read the specific quote from this case that I still don't understand how it could not apply. As held by the 4th District Court of Appeals, a contract to retain outside legal counsel creates the relation of employer and employee. However, no statute authorizes the safety director to fix the compensation of the employees in his department.
Well, that's when they become employees of the department. That's a whole different situation.
Yes.
And the other thing I need to talk to you about is the intersection of 411710, because the other contract that you have issue with is Clemens and Nelson. And via 411710, and I believe it's subsection C, but I'm not going to be claimed to know all this perfectly. He's duty bound to negotiate on behalf of the city. And so he hires an outside legal negotiator to do that. And so both of the contracts that you have issue with, I've tried to explain to you. These people aren't employees of the city. Kevin's not giving them a W-2. Peterman's, if what you're reading to me is correct, Peterman would be if you hired them as employees. We don't want to hire them as employees.
You must
We
not
save
have
money.
read this case then.
We
because
save
that's not
money
what it
by not
says.
having an employee. Clemens and Nelson does it for less than $50,000. I'm telling you, I could not hire a full-time person in my office as an attorney for less than 75 plus bennies. So,
Well,
I mean,
I can take separate issue with how much Clemens Nelson has already charged us, but that's on down my list of questions.
fair enough, ma'am. Keep going.
I would like you to provide whatever authority you're relying on that the safety director is able to set this compensation, when I have clear case law saying that he absolutely cannot.
Okay.
What is that authority?
I'm not gonna do it right now.
I
I'll
asked
send
you
it to
this question almost 2 weeks ago.
I answered your question as
Well,
to
actually,
why I
your
believe.
answer at that time was that the power is with the mayor, and that was incorrect, right?
No, I believe that the safety service director's power flows through the mayor, who is the elected person. The safety service director is appointed by the mayor. So any power that you have as safety service director comes through your appointment by the elected official. He
So
can't just say, I'm Mike Drager and now I'm gonna be safety service director. He says, I serve at the pleasure of the mayor.
So who has the authority to hire outside legal counsel?
The safety service director signed for investigators. They're not going to be signing pleadings on our behalf, if you're talking about Jake Baker Dublicar. Excuse me, I'm talking too much here. They were hired to do an investigation, and so that's what they were hired for.
That was not my question, though. Who has the authority to hire outside legal counsel?
I think that question has been answered, well, we answered it a long time ago. Please, one moment, you said the law director,
While she's looking, can I ask a question?
just a second.
Why would we go?
Whoa, I said, I'm not gonna control the meeting. All right? Now, go ahead and talk.
Thank you, sir. Why would we go with a private, expensive law firm? And I'll compliment you, those guys they've got credentials, they're impressive, I like them as individuals, great record. But we have Ohio BCI, which is a branch of the Ohio Attorney General's office that would have done that probably for nothing. Now, we may not have got some wonderful legal advice, but they certainly would have come to the same legal conclusions.
At the time that the complaints were made to me, I did not consider them criminal. We can discuss whether that's correct or not. And so BCI investigates criminal matters. And so that's my answer to your question, sir, without going into anything further, which I think you heard information on earlier.
All right. Is there any other member of council who wishes, Mr.
Yeah, I think it's time that we stop the witch hunt and the legal jabbering back and forth. I think if Ms. Giacomides wants answers to the question, she should have a private meeting with the law director and Mr. Drager.
I concur.
Just continue this conversation on city council.
Okay, any other member have something to say? If you said, she can't come back till we have everybody have their opportunity. One more question.
Respectfully, Mr. President, I have tried for 2 weeks to get answers to these questions. I was not provided answers, and I was specifically told that any remaining details would be heard in this public meeting. I'm only trying to get answers to the questions that I have asked for 2 weeks.
If I may,
Yes?
I provided a response to you. I understand that you disagree with it. But as I told you before, this is not up for debate. I think I explained to you why I believe that your cases do not apply. I explained to you why I believed your statutory authority did not apply, but I'll be happy to provide you with some additional case citations for you to read.
Okay.
And, Mr. President, I still have unanswered questions
Then at
well
this-
beyond that.
I understand that, and at this point in time, though, I think that question has been answered. And I would suggest again that you maybe meet personally with her, because she has provided you the answers, and let's move on with the business at hand.
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
I must appeal the decision of the chair then as a point of order, because it is my job to get answers to these questions, and I have been prohibited from getting answers. Even questions that I asked in the public meeting, the law director has not provided them.
No, that is not being prohibited. Have you gone and talked to her and done it in a situation where it's not debatable?
I've sent numerous emails, Mr.
Have you
President.
gone and visited her, made an appointment to see her in our office?
No, I
I
have
hope
not.
I want you to get your answers, okay? What I'm concerned about is the same thing the others are. This is an issue of great concern to all of us, I'm sure, but we have bigger issues that we need to get on to address, like finances and other things. So I am encouraging you to go, make an appointment, sit down, talk, visit her face to face. You probably will not agree at that point in time with her, but at least I'm hearing answers to your questions. All right? Now, one more thing. Go ahead.
I'm looking at an email from the law director addressed to you and to all of us. That she tried to actually answer some of your questions so that we won't be here for 45 minutes to an hour, you question her again. So if this was not enough for you,
No.
maybe you need to go back to the office and talk with her again.
I think I
Because
made that point already.
she
Mr.
gave
Chair.
us the email.